I remember back in mid-2019, after I'd finished my year and a bit long hiatus from watching WWE and watching wrestling period, I tuned back into wrestling and I was catching myself up. I was watching WWE Raw, headlined by Seth Rollins and his Universal title feud with Baron Corbin. I was checking out NXT, featuring that was Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole. That was that era of NXT. I was watching a bit of NXT UK. And during that, I stumbled across a guy named Walter, or Volta, however you want to pronounce it, don't kill me for butchering it. I saw his match against Tyler Bate at Cardiff, and I'm not admittedly someone who, watches and just loves indie wrestling or loves just generally that sort of stuff. I'm more so like a mainstream WWE sort of guy myself. I watched that match, and I was thinking to myself, this guy has potential. Now, I'm not going to jump to a conclusion and say that he's the next star of the company for 15 years. I'm not generally that big with my overreaction takes. I watched that match and thought, damn, this is really good. That character has potential to be WWE's best, European top bad guy they had in, I don't even know how long, and just top bad guy, period. That's a star right there. So I watched that, and then that was that. And time goes on, you go through 2020, 2021, Walter's having classic after classic in NXT, he makes the shift over to American NXT from the UK version. Obviously there's the big match with Pete Dunne, and that happened before Cardiff, that was a takeover New York, and there's some other matches he has the Dragunov matches. And then he debuts in WWE on the main roster, and granted, in 2022, I wasn't the most tuned in, I wasn't dialed into WWE the same way I was in maybe late 2019, 2020, 2021. But once I've done some catching up and I've been doing some watching of the WWE product, Gunther, as he's called now, formerly Volta, Gunther's the wrestler he's one of the wrestlers I've been most impressed by in my time watching. And really this video today, I'm not going to give you a full, blow-by-blow account of Volta or Gunther's entire life up to this point. That's not what this is. Other YouTubers will do that. They'll do a better job at that than me. But what this is me explaining from my perspective how I saw this guy initially as he's pretty good. He has some potential. To now me thinking that this guy is a WrestleMania main eventer with real potential to be a top star in this company for a few years, which is a massive testament to him. And for starters, I'll give this first reason. His weight loss. This is a big one. Now, this is not a fat shaming video at all, but look at this. Now look at this. All right, this is clearly someone who's put in the hours, put in the work, the dedication to try and transform himself to his best possible version, his final form. All right, he's always had the wrestling ability. He's always had the psychology and the move set with the chops and all this sort of thing. But this transformation you're seeing on screen genuinely really impressed me. And I know there's another wrestler in a similar position who I was quite high on in 2020 when I was making content. There was another wrestler in a similar position who's now currently dressing as a wizard in AEW. And granted, that gentleman's had a few health complications. I get it, 100%. But I look just physically, Gunther, take a bow. Wow. Gunther impressed me a lot with that. He's now in incredible physical condition. Yeah, he's not the size of the Big Show. He's not that big. He's 6'4", maybe 6'3". I don't know the exact weight now in pounds, but he looks jacked. And that's a big one. His look. He looks, as these buzzwords in my videos and other people's videos, he looks legit. He looks credible. He looks dominant. And that's a big thing. For a main event, top tier heavyweight heel, or face maybe eventually, but heel, that's a big one. So there's that. And then there's the presentation. Now, the ring general stuff, it sticks out. It's unique to him. He comes out, the mat's sacred. That's his phrasing, but just generally speaking, he takes it very seriously. He's a serious individual. This isn't someone who's going to be cutting Star Wars promos, dancing with Byron Saxton on commentary. And I like that. I like someone who's credible, legitimate. Someone who I'm not going to tune into Raw and see dancing with R-Truth backstage as they're trying to do a comedy segment to promote Pokemon Go. That's the sort of thing I like to see from a main event guy, and Gunther has that. He just does. The stuff we see with him when he shows up, it reminds me of just generally how they book main eventers or big time stars. He shows up on the show week to week. He's not always wrestling. He's not always cutting a promo, but he has presence. When Imperium are having these tag team matches against whoever, and he's at ringside in the tracksuit or in whatever gear he's wearing, his like non-wrestling gear, I'm watching the match. Yeah, there's a match going on, but I'm like, Gunther at ringside, that guy at ringside, he has my attention. What's he gonna do? Is he gonna chop someone? Is he gonna beat someone up after the match? What facial expressions is he gonna make? And that's really good. That's what you want. You want viewer intrigue, viewer interest. WWE, because of how they presented this guy in the time since he's been on the main roster, particularly in my eyes, has got that. He's got my intrigue. I'm now interested. What's he gonna do? And that was the big one in the WrestleMania build with that triple threat match. Now, obviously, the triple threat match, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and Gunther, WrestleMania, one of the top 3 greatest Intercontinental Championship matches in the history of WrestleMania. It's up there with Steamboat Savage and the ladder match from WrestleMania 10. It's a barn-burning classic. An incredible 16-minute, just hell for leather war. The match was one thing, but the thing I liked about the build most, yes, you've got Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, and they're doing these like fatal 5-way matches and number 1 contenders match rematches, and Adam Pearce is there. But it was Gunther's presentation during that. Him confronting Adam Pearce, him shouting, getting really angry and emotive about having actually, defending the triple threat. That really pissed him off. His expression. It was good stuff. It was good from him. It was good emotion, good facials, good acting generally there. And then the match obviously was what it was. It was an exceptional WrestleMania match, which was a big tip of the cap. It was a fight. It wasn't an indie flip match. And the big thing I like about this guy, because of his 2010s, you may, and I don't know, a certain portion of the online fan base goes, oh, indie guy, oh, he's not legit enough, that sort of thing, oh, he just does chops. But then I watched the presentation. This isn't just some indie guy. This isn't just Cesaro. This guy is better than Cesaro. He just is. Cesaro, I remember this vividly. I was watching the whole time when he was presented on the main roster. 2012, 2013, he's floundering. He was with Oksana. Not much was going on. They paired him with Zeb Coulter, and that was okay. They paired him with Heyman. That failed. He floundered for a while. He then came out as James Bond. He was with Sheamus, and that was good. They lost to an 8-year-old at WrestleMania. He floundered a bit more. He got his title match against Reigns in 2021. Then he was released. Cesaro just wasn't it. Gunther is it. He has that presentation. He has that aura and that legitimacy. Yes, Cesaro had the swing. This guy with Gunther, he just has a much more well-rounded presentation. Much more legit, much more credible, much more compelling. His facial expressions, he's much better at. His acting is better than Cesaro's. Cesaro, and granted, neither of these guys are Dwayne Johnson on the microphone. Duh. But that must be said. Gunther is just... He's more of the Batista type than he is The Miz on the microphone. I saw some people comparing The Miz, saying The Miz the best Intercontinental Champion in the modern era. Name me 3 Miz promos. Okay, Talking Smack and what? Miz TV where LaMelo Ball said the N-word on Raw? Like, come on. And name me 3 objectively really great Miz matches with the IC title involved. There's a good one against Dolph Ziggler at No Mercy 2016, but damn, if you can find me legitimately great ones, not Kofi Kingston on Raw, I don't know. Point being, Gunther, why I like him, why he's getting this praise. Presentation, excellent. Theme song, really good. It feels big time when he makes his entrance. Distinctive entrance. Matches, phenomenal, hard hitting, the moveset. He can end a match with about 8 different moves. There's a thing of that on Twitter. The chops make you cringe watching it because they legitimately hurt. I feel them as a viewer watching it. That is just nuts. His weight loss transformation, I think, is well and truly deserving of praise. Some wrestlers don't go that far and make that effort, and they go off to other companies, go off to alternatives just to wrestle on elevation. Gunther puts the work in. And you can see it. He looks in incredible condition. And just generally, this guy, he's getting there. He had the Royal Rumble performance this year with the runner-up, the hour-long time. They're building him up really well. He had the Intercontinental Championship reign. He's almost ready. He's almost ready for that big breakout main event run, that push. how they book it, I think Gunther and Cody Rhodes is going to be a phenomenal match. Once they pull the trigger on Cody, which they should have done at WrestleMania, I'll keep bringing that up until they, resurrect that. Yeah, Gunther's great. So, yeah, I didn't think I'd go 10 minutes. I thought this would be like 4 or 5. But, there's plenty to hype up there. There's plenty to praise. This isn't just an indie guy. This isn't just Cesaro with zero charisma. This guy's better than Cesaro ever was. This guy actually has something to him as a legit main eventer. He has the presentation, he has the physicality, he has the look. The matches are much more compelling than Cesaro matches. I can tell you that much. I was never in the 2010s when I was watching week to week going, oh my god, when's Cesaro going to wrestle? I can't wait to see Cesaro. Gunther, when's the Gunther match? When's he going to be competing? When he competes, I can't look away from the match because of the ferocity, the chops, the moves. And he wrestles a style which isn't going to lay him out. He can wrestle the slow, big guy style. He can do a flip or two, but he doesn't need to. And his chops are deafening. So, that being said, that's the video. Hope you guys enjoy. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and drill.